The warning the story opens aboard the trade vessel Silent Current, belonging to the Vulcan species. Captain Nix and his crew are preparing for a routine cargo run when they receive an urgent message from the Galactic Trade Council. The message is simple but chilling. Avoid human space at all costs. Quarantine zone remains active. First Officer Ray questions why such restrictions exist. The official records only mention biological hazards and unstable energy readings from human territory. No alien species has made contact with humans for over 50 years. Not since the first and only diplomatic mission returned with half its crew missing, and the Moan, survivors refusing to speak about what they witnessed. The scene shifts to the galactic capital, where Ambassador Cole of the Thak Empire meets with representatives from 12 different species. They discuss trade routes, but every conversation leads back to the same topic: the humans and their mysterious isolation. The Mindari delegate Elder Tam shares whispered rumors about human colonies that appear and disappear overnight, and ships that travel faster than should be physically possible. Dr. Voss, a researcher from the scholarly benthic species, has been studying human transmissions intercepted at the edge of their space. The signals are unlike anything in the galaxy complex, layered and somehow alive. When she tries to decode them, her equipment malfunctions in ways that defy known physics. The galactic community has developed an unspoken rule: humans are to be left alone. Not because they're dangerous in the traditional sense, but because something about them doesn't fit the natural order. Ships that venture too close to human space report instrument failures, crew members speaking in languages they don't know, and time moving differently than it should. As Part 1 concludes, Captain Nix receives a distress signal from the edge of human space. The message is from a human vessel, and it's asking for help. Against all protocols and the warnings of his crew, Nix makes a decision that will change everything. He's going to answer the call. The Silent Current approaches the coordinates of the distress signal. The crew is nervous. They've all heard the stories. What they find is a small human research vessel called the Pioneer's Edge, drifting without power near a strange cosmic phenomenon. When Captain Nix establishes communication, he speaks with Dr. Anna Blake, the human expedition leader. She seems remarkably calm for someone in distress, and her explanation is unsettling. They weren't in trouble. The distress signal was sent automatically when their ship entered what she calls shifted space. The humans invite the alien crew aboard for repairs and supplies. Against his better judgment, Nix agrees. The moment the airlock opens, the alien crew experiences something impossible. They can understand the humans perfectly, not through translation devices, but as if the language is flowing directly into their minds. The human ship is unlike anything in the galaxy. The walls seem to pulse with organic energy, and the technology appears to be alive. Dr. Blake explains that this is normal human. Technology has evolved to work with consciousness rather than against it. She mentions that humans discovered something called the deep code in their DNA, which allows them to interface with reality in ways other species cannot. The crew learns that humans don't just travel through space, they fold it. Their ships don't follow the known laws of physics, because they've learned to work with deeper principles. Dr. Blake casually mentions that time moves differently for humans, and that what the galaxy considers impossible is simply another tool in their arsenal. The most disturbing revelation comes when engineer Max Torres demonstrates human technology. He places his hand on a dead control panel, and it springs to life. The alien crew watches in horror as the technology responds to his thoughts, reshaping itself to meet his needs. This isn't just advanced science, it's something fundamental. About what humans are. As the repairs continue, the alien crew begins to change. Their thoughts become clearer, their understanding of their own technology deepens, and they start to perceive things that were previously invisible. The humans explain that this is temporary proximity to human consciousness tends to wake up other species, but the effect fades once they leave. The truth begins to emerge. Humans aren't just another species. They're something that changes the rules of reality wherever they go. A galaxy avoids them not because they're dangerous, but because contact with them transforms other species in ways that can't be undone. Dr. Blake takes the alien crew to the ship's central laboratory, where she reveals the truth about human evolution. 50 years ago, humans made a discovery that changed everything. While exploring their own genetic code, they found something that shouldn't exist, patterns that seemed to contain information about the universe itself. She explains that every human carries what they call the deep code genetic instructions that allow them to interface with the fundamental forces of reality. This isn't magic or advanced technology. It's evolution taken to its logical conclusion. Humans had unknowingly evolved to become living bridges between consciousness and the physical universe. The revelation horrifies the alien crew. First Officer Ray realizes that this explains everything: why human space is quarantined, why their technology defies known physics, and why contact with humans is forbidden. The humans didn't just develop advanced science. They became something beyond the normal boundaries of existence. Dr. Blake shows them recordings from the first human deep space missions. The footage shows human crews literally willing their ships through solid matter, surviving in vacuum without protection, and communicating across impossible distances through pure thought. What the galaxy calls impossible, humans call Tuesday. The most disturbing part is the humans didn't realize how unique they were until they tried to make contact with other species. The first diplomatic missions were disasters, not because humans were hostile, but because their presence caused other species to begin evolving in similar directions. The galaxy's leaders made the decision to quarantine human space before the transformation could spread. Captain Nix learns that the few aliens who survived early contact with humans returned fundamentally changed. They could do things that their species had never been capable of, but they were also no longer quite the same beings who had left. The galaxy chose isolation over evolution, preferring the known limitations of their existence to the terrifying possibilities that humans represented. Dr. Blake reveals that humans have been aware of the quarantine for decades. They've respected it, but they've also been preparing. Human space has become something beyond a simple territory. It's a region where the laws of physics bend to accommodate consciousness, where technology and biology have merged, and where the line between possible and impossible has ceased to exist. The crew realizes they're not just witnessing advanced technology, they're seeing the next stage of galactic evolution, one that their species has chosen to reject. The humans offer them a choice: return to their old existence, or stay and become something more than they ever imagined possible. Asterisk, the alien crew faces an impossible decision. Dr. Blake explains that they can return to their ship and their old lives, but they'll carry the knowledge of what they've experienced. The changes they've undergone, the clarity of thought, the expanded perception will fade, but the memory will remain. Engineer Jax, the youngest member of the crew, admits he doesn't want to go back. He's experienced things in the past few hours that his species has never achieved in millennia of existence. The human technology responds to his thoughts, and he feels connected to the universe in ways that seem natural. And right. Captain Nix struggles with the implications. If he returns to galactic space, he'll have to report what he's learned. The knowledge that humans have evolved beyond the normal boundaries of existence would terrify the galaxy. But if he stays, he'll be abandoning his duty to his own species. Dr. Blake shows them the human colonies' worlds where reality itself has been reshaped by human consciousness. Cities that exist in folded space, occupying the same location as empty wilderness. forests where the trees grow in patterns that encode information, and oceans that serve as vast computational networks. This isn't just technology. It's a new form of existence. The crew learns that humans have been preparing for eventual contact with the galaxy. They've developed ways to limit their effect on other species, to share their abilities without forcing unwanted evolution. But they're also ready to defend themselves if the galaxy chooses aggression over understanding. The most shocking revelation comes when Dr. Blake reveals that humans have been secretly helping other species for decades. The sudden technological advances that various civilizations have experienced, the Vulcans' improved navigation systems, the Thak Empire's energy shields, the Mindari's communication networks, all have been influenced by carefully placed human guidance. The galaxy has been benefiting from human knowledge without realizing it. The quarantine was never about protecting the galaxy from humans. It was about protecting human secrets from galactic panic. The fear wasn't about what humans might do to other species, but about what other species might do to humans if they understood the true extent of human capabilities. Captain Nix realizes that his crew has become part of something larger. They're not just witnesses to human evolution. They're the first official alien ambassadors to experience human space since the quarantine began. Their choice will determine whether the galaxy remains isolated or begins to accept a new form of existence. Dr. Blake offers them a third option. They can become bridges between human space and the galaxy. They can help prepare other species for eventual contact, serving as proof that interaction with humans doesn't have to mean the end of individual species' identity. They can become part of a gradual integration that preserves what makes each species unique while opening doors to previously impossible possibilities. The choice is no longer just about their own futures. It's about the future of galactic civilization itself. Captain Nix makes his decision. The crew will return to galactic space, but they'll carry a message from the humans. The quarantine doesn't have to be permanent, and the galaxy doesn't have to live in fear of human contact. There's a way for species to interact with humans without losing their essential nature. Dr. Blake provides them with a communication device that will allow limited contact between human space and the galaxy. The technology is designed to prevent the overwhelming consciousness effects that made early contact impossible, while still allowing for meaningful exchange of ideas and knowledge. The silent current departs human space, but the crew has been fundamentally changed. They understand that they've witnessed the next step in galactic evolution, and they carry the responsibility of sharing this knowledge carefully. Too much too fast would cause panic. Too little would maintain the harmful isolation. As they travel back toward galactic space, the crew experiences the fading of their enhanced abilities. A clarity of thought diminishes, the expanded perception narrows, and they begin to return to their original mental states. But the memory remains, along with a profound understanding of what's possible. Captain Nix crafts his report carefully. He describes the humans as advanced but not hostile, evolved but not threatening. He emphasizes that human isolation was chosen to protect both sides, not because humans are dangerous to encounter. The key is controlled contact, gradual exposure that allows for adaptation without forced evolution. The crew arrives at the galactic capital to find the various species representatives eager for information. The rumors about human space have been growing, and several governments are considering more aggressive approaches to the human problem. Captain Nix's report becomes crucial evidence that military action would be both unnecessary and catastrophic. Elder Tam of the Mindari is the first to understand the implications. She realizes that humans represent not a threat to be eliminated, but a future to be carefully approached. The galaxy has been stagnating in its development, and human contact could provide the catalyst for advancement that doesn't require abandoning their species' essential nature. Dr. Voss, the benthic researcher, volunteers to study the human communication device. She discovers that it's not just technology. It's a teaching tool that gradually prepares other species for expanded consciousness. The humans have been planning for this moment, developing ways to share their abilities without overwhelming other species. The Galactic Council debates for days. Some species advocate for maintaining the quarantine permanently, while others push for immediate contact. Captain Nix and his crew serve as living proof that interaction with humans is possible without losing species identity. They've been changed by the experience, but they're still recognizably themselves. The decision is made to establish a formal contact protocol. Selected volunteers from each species will be trained to interact with humans safely. These ambassadors will serve as bridges between human space and the galaxy, facilitating gradual integration that preserves what makes each species unique while opening new possibilities for growth. The story reveals that the quarantine was never about fear. It was about timing. The galaxy wasn't ready for human contact 50 years ago, but evolution never stops. The species that will emerge from gradual integration with human consciousness will be recognizably themselves, but with capabilities that their ancestors never. Imagine . 1 year after first contact, the galaxy has begun to change. The formal contact protocol has been established, and the first group of alien ambassadors has completed their training for human interaction. The process is gradual, carefully managed, and voluntary. No species is forced to participate in the integration. Captain Nix now serves as the chief liaison between human space and the Galactic Trade Council. His ship has been modified with human-influenced technology that allows for safe passage between the two regions. The silent current has become a symbol of successful human-alien cooperation, proof that the two sides can work together without losing their essential nature. The changes in galactic society are subtle but profound. The Vulcan trade routes now use navigation systems that work with intuitive consciousness rather than purely mechanical calculation. The Thak Empire has developed energy shields that respond to the user's intentions. The Mindari communication networks have evolved to carry emotional and conceptual information, along with simple data. None of these advances required the species to abandon their core identity. The Vulcans are still master traders. The Thak remain proud warriors, and the Mindari continue to value wisdom and knowledge. But each species now has access to capabilities that were previously impossible. Dr. Blake has established a research station at the edge of human space, where mixed crews of humans and aliens work together on projects that benefit both sides. The station exists in folded space, allowing for extended interaction without the overwhelming consciousness effects that made early contact impossible. The most significant development is the emergence of hybrid technologies that combine human, consciousness-based systems with traditional alien engineering. These innovations are revolutionizing everything from space travel to planetary development, opening possibilities that neither humans nor aliens could have achieved alone. The galaxy has also discovered that humans were never truly isolated. While maintaining the quarantine, they've been secretly monitoring galactic development and providing subtle guidance during critical moments. The technological advances that various species attributed to their own ingenuity are often influenced by carefully placed human knowledge. This revelation, initially, causes some political tension, but it's ultimately seen as evidence of human benevolence. Rather than conquering or controlling other species, humans chose to help them develop according to their own nature. The guidance was invisible, preserving each species' sense of achievement and independence. Elder Tam has become one of the most vocal advocates for deeper integration. She argues that the galaxy has been artificially limiting itself out of fear of change. A gradual integration with human consciousness doesn't threaten species identity. It fulfills each species' evolutionary potential. The story concludes with a scene aboard a new type of vessel, a ship crewed by multiple species working together with human-influenced technology. The crew includes Captain Nix, Dr. Blake, and representatives from a dozen different civilizations. They're exploring regions of space that were previously inaccessible, using consciousness-based navigation to reach areas where traditional physics breaks down. The final revelation is that humans themselves are still evolving. Their interaction with other species has expanded their own consciousness, teaching them new ways to perceive and interact with reality. The integration isn't just about humans sharing their abilities. It's about all species, growing together toward something greater than any of them could achieve alone. The galaxy is no longer divided between human space and alien space. Instead, it's becoming a continuous spectrum of consciousness and capability, where each species contributes its unique perspective to the collective understanding of existence. The quarantine has ended not because the danger is past, but because the galaxy has finally become ready for the next stage of its evolution. The story ends with the crew discovering something unprecedented, evidence of other galaxies where consciousness and matter have achieved even deeper integration. The human's evolution wasn't unique. It was just the beginning of a transformation that spans the entire universe. The galaxy that once feared human contact now stands ready to join an even greater community of conscious beings. The final words suggest that the real adventure is just beginning. The galaxy has learned that growth requires courage, that evolution demands change, and that the greatest discoveries come not from avoiding the unknown, but from embracing it with wisdom and hope. Asterisk.